my name is Johnstone Shisanya. I work at the East African Center for Human Rights, EACHRights. We are based in Nairobi. Our operations are at the national and county levels. We work in Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, where we have our partners. And one of our key program is the Education Justice Program, which I head. And in this program, we have a number of interventions ranging from policy to advocacy work. We do a lot of capacity strengthening for the duty bearers and the claim holders for them to understand the right to education as provided in the Abidjan Principles. It's a human right. So being a right and also being enshrined in our constitution under the Bill of Rights, it is one of the rights that we promote and advocate for the state to realize for every Kenyan. The Abidjan Principles has been one of our instrumental document that we've been using in terms of cascading the work we do in advocacy and policy work. One, because it emphasizes on the right to education as a human rights principle. And being that the right to education in Kenya is enshrined in the Constitution, which is our mother document for the rights. Therefore, we cannot really underemphasize the role that this document plays, because it gives really concrete and practical examples on how both the duty bearers and the claim holders need to engage on the right to education, and also the functions and the work of the government to regulate how this right to education is provided, particularly for the private sector. Because when the private actors come into play, they focus more on profit making. But the Abidjan Principles are very clear with defined boundaries on what the rights of all the citizens is supposed to do or to be. And therefore, we use this document to ensure that the duty bearers understand education is not just a commodity, it's a right which needs to be protected. From the work we've been doing over the years, there has been quite tremendous achievements we've seen. One of the success which I have seen personally and have been part of is the strengthened policy framework. We have in Kenya what we call the registration guidelines that it's a document, policy document that guides all the processes for anyone who wants to establish an institution for learning. And this policy framework has really put into place measures, tough and stringent measures for the proprietors of education institutions. I was part of the process of revising the guidelines 3 times. The strengthening of these measures will ensure that even the private actors who want to establish institutions meet the threshold in those policy guidelines. So that is one way of the government saying that we are taking charge and ensuring that there is compliance, but there are also high standards that will be met in terms of registering, but also the management of institutions. One of the areas that we are going to put more emphasis is to build on what we did last year on the conference on privatization of education in Kenya. The conference attracted quite huge attention from across the sector, from learners and primary schools to secondary to universities to teachers and all actors in the education space. And this being an icebreaker, it's a momentum. We want to keep that momentum to really help us in terms of pushing for the reforms and the agenda we need in the education sector, with a very big emphasis on the funding and supporting and strengthening of public education.